It's the country's #1 RVing radio show, sponsored by RVTravel.com, with your host, Alan Warren, the RV Wingman.
All right, Alan Warren, the RV Wingman, back with you to introduce you to a real dummy. Yep, he's actually the RV dummy on YouTube, and he's proud to call himself that. I've watched many of his videos, and believe me, folks, he is no dummy. Dr. Dave Maddow, welcome to the show.
Hey, Alan, thank you so much for having me. It is an honor to be on your show.
Well, it's an honor to have you, Dr. Dave. It really is. And the question I got to ask, why do you call yourself the RV dummy, brother?
Well, it's a great question. Alan, before I answer that, can I make a comment? You had a video that just came out a few days ago, and you recommended it. It was for Thanksgiving, and you recommended that everybody call, figure out like one or two or three people that you haven't spoken to in a while that mean something to you in your life.
Yeah.
And you recommended that we call them and make it a really short call and say, and tell them the reason you're calling. And I got to tell you something. I listened to your video. I watched your video, and I did this. I thought that was a great idea, but I got to tell you who I called.
Who and what? Tell me.
I called the guy that sold me our RV about a year and a half ago. This guy, the reason I called him is because he literally changed my life, and I just wanted to take 60 seconds out and tell him this because he probably has no idea. He just probably looked at this as a transaction, selling an RV to some couple that came out, but he truly changed our life, and he was amazed. He was like in disbelief that I would call him and thank him for that. It made his day. So I wanted to thank you for giving this advice, and I'm going to do this every year. I'm not going to call him every year, but I'm going to figure out a few people.
Doesn't it feel good, Dave? It just feels great to make other people, and it's simple. It doesn't cost you anything, takes you a minute of time, and it will actually make other people's lives better. And I love doing that.
It really is. It's a cool thing, so I thank you for that. But
well, you bet.
Do you mind if I just thought of something. Speaking of this guy, his name was George, and do you mind if I tell you a really, really short story? Because this whole thing, this Thanksgiving thing that you recommended that I do, brought like this whole story back to me, and it was just it's weird and good. And is it okay if I share?
Yeah, go. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so about a little over a year and a half ago, our RV we had a Class B. It burnt down. It had a big fire, and I'm not even going to. It's a story for another time. It's too long of a story. Mm-hmm. But I got a nice insurance check, and my wife and I set out on the internet to find another Class B. We zeroed in on this one, it was in Ohio, and we got on a plane. Everything looked great. Got on a plane. We visited this. It was an elderly couple selling this RV that was it's a 2007 Pleasureway XL TS built on a 2006 chassis. E350. So anyway, we got there. I am the RV dummy, but I know enough kind of like what to look for. So we spent like a good part of the day checking this thing over, and it was just immaculate. It was fantastic. We loved it. This was going to be our RV. We knew it. So we went back into his house. He and his wife were there. We made a deal. We shook hands, and he said, well, it's a Saturday, so I'm only going to accept a bank check from you, so all the banks are closed until Monday, so you're going to have to come back Monday to pick it up. Mm-hmm. So I looked at him, and I looked at my wife, looked at him. I said, well, let me ask you, do you accept cash? And he looked at me, and he said, do you mean the actual green stuff, the actual cash? I said, yeah. Like, would you be okay with cash? And he said, you've got that cash with you? And I will tell you, if you don't mind me saying, it was like $47,000.
No.
He said, do you have that cash with you? I said,
probably thought you were a drug dealer.
I don't know what he thought, but we laid cash out on the table in stacks, and we all counted it like 3 times to make sure it was accurate. He gave us the keys to the RV, and that's why this whole event was so special. And he did change our lives, and that's why I thought to circle back, when I called him a few days ago, it was really cool. So again, thanks for that.
Well, you are welcome. Thank you for the story. That was great. So why do you call yourself the RV dummy? I've watched your videos. You're not a dummy, brother.
Well, it's a matter of opinion. I do appreciate that. Well, this is our second RV. my wife and I decided that three years ago or so to totally change our lifestyle. We were living the regular old American lifestyle, just go to work during the day and come home and do your thing and maybe a few times a year travel a little bit. But we said this is not the way to live. So without knowing anything, we wanted to travel around North America and make any backdrop our backyard for as long as we wanted to. Mm-hmm. So without knowing anything about RVs, we went online and just found one. And this is our first one. We found it in California, and I had a friend of mine go out and pick it up for me, a retired truck driver, and he drove it back. So the first time I ever stepped foot in this RV was when it was in my driveway. Wow. I literally knew, Alan, I knew nothing about RVs. And there's still a lot of people out there that know a lot more than I do. And I've got my YouTube channel. I love helping people from the perspective of, hey, I'm a regular guy. I'm not an expert, but I'm going to help you any way I can because this changed my life, and I'm going to help you change your life. That's kind of like the approach I have.
And Dr. Dave, here's the deal. You're so unscripted. You're so genuine and humble, and if you say something, it's from the heart. And you're also a very smart guy, but it's so unique to me. You don't have an agenda with your channel except just to be who you are and to help people, and I just love it. I love what you do.
Well, it's funny. You did pick up on it. I just try to be myself. I'm a regular guy, and I appreciate you calling me Dr. Dave, and that's how I introduce myself in my show. But feel free to call me Dave because I'll tell you, Alan, I even get pushback on YouTube from comments, people telling me I shouldn't call myself doctor because because I'm bragging. But
well, you could call me Dr. Allen if you'd like, but I.
Okay, Doc. Okay, Dr. Allen. But people that know me, and you've seen the show. People that know me, I'm just a laid back, regular guy. I don't have an agenda. Just because I'm a doctor, I don't think I'm any better than anybody else. But it is my title. It's kind of a nickname I've developed over.
I love it, and I think that's the reason why I found your channel is because of the name of it. Now, y'all are part-time RVers. Real quickly, in 2 minutes, Dave, tell me an exciting, maybe a scary story or the worst thing that's ever happened to you RVing so far. But you got to keep it to 2 minutes.
Okay, right. Okay, the worst thing that's ever happened is going to take me more time, so you'll have it's a bribe to get you to bring me back another time.
Oh, I promise.
But a crazy story, Alan, is my wife and I. We're part timers, but we were doing a big southern trip this past spring, and one of our stops was outside of Orlando, Florida. And we pulled into this campground, and we went to the office, got our site, pulled into the site, and this guy comes out from a Class A. This big Class A overshadowing our little Class B next to his site, and he's got no shirt on, and he's tremendous. And he looks at me and says, "You can't camp here." I said, "Well, sir, excuse me, this is where we're supposed. You can't camp here. This is I don't want anybody next to me." And literally, this guy was like intimidating and screaming at me. I had to go back in the office and say, "Hey, look, I'm not going to take this site. You got to put me on another site." I thought the guy was going to strangle me.
Oh my gosh!
It was really, really scary. Like I said, the guy had no shirt, tremendous stomach sticking out. It was a scary.
Hey, I resemble that. Okay, I resemble that. So.
I've never seen you shirtless.
And you won't. But you know what? That's such a rarity. Most of the people I found in these campgrounds are so dang nice, and they're wonderful, and they're just approachable, and they like to help each other. And that's one of the magical things I think about this entire lifestyle that we love.
Well, that's why we were so taken aback, Alan, because we've had such great experiences all over the country with great people at campgrounds. I mean, we love going to campgrounds. A lot of people like to go to BLM and Boondock, but we love meeting other people at campgrounds. So that's you asked me a crazy story. That's like the worst experience I've ever had at a campground. It was a little bit scary for us.
Well, listen, we are 10 minutes flies by, Dave, so we're up against the clock. We got to leave it there, but we will do it again. We'll do an after the show an extended version. So that's Dr. Dave, the RV dummy, everybody. As I said, in my view, he may be a lot of things, but he is certainly no dummy. He's a really nice guy, and his only agenda is to be honest and transparent, try to help people, and I suggest you check out his YouTube. You will like it. I promise you. If you like nice people, you're going to like the RV dummy. In the search bar, type in The RV Dummy, and that'll be him. I'm Alan Warren, the RV Wingman. This is the country's #1 radio and social media show about the RV lifestyle. Be right back.